is one of the best performing and most popular cars out right now, but it has one fatal flaw. That front grille is ugly as hell. And after 6 months of owning this thing, I thought it had finally grown on me and I thought it was finally starting to like it. But I think I've had enough. I've got to do something to make this car look like a true sports car should and not look like Bucky the Beaver. So in today's video, I'm going to be replacing my G80's front grille with a ton of carbon fiber. I just got done with a crazy road trip, almost 1,000 miles in this thing I drove last night. Let's just say there's a whole lot of bugs on this thing. So we got to clean this thing up, especially this, because we're going to be taking this off and putting on the new grille. But it doesn't really matter anyways, because this ugly front grille is going bye-bye. And we're putting on some crazy carbon fiber parts from Horizon Motorsports. And no, not that Horizon Motorsports, not like the Forza game, but I've ordered from them before. Actually, the first part that I ever put on the G80 was from Horizon Motorsports. I actually never made a video on it, but they had the exact carbon fiber grille that I was looking for this car, because there's really 3 types. So you have the CSL style, the V style, and the GT3 style. And I actually opted for the best one in my opinion, which is the V-style grills. I think by far this design is the best looking out of all 3 of them, and that is for one reason. This is actually going to flow with the body lines of the car, and instead of disrupting the front end. I actually really dislike the way the CSL grill looks, because it comes out as a line and splits up and down into 2, and it just kind of disrupts the flow of the whole front end. The only other grill that I would have gotten besides the V-style is maybe the GT3 style, but I kind of do like the bottom to look exposed, but I really think this style is going to look the best. And obviously we also have the carbon fiber duct inserts. This is going to complete the look of the bottom end, because you can't just have one grill and not the other. I hate the horizontal lines clashing with the honeycomb pattern on the bottom. And since we're taking the bumper off anyways, we might as well do both, because every time you take off the bumper, you risk not putting it on properly, and that's exactly what the previous owner did when he got this car PPF'd. You see that there's a little gap in the hood. But let's show you how to take the bumper off, install the new grills, and hopefully nothing goes wrong. All right, so the very first thing you do, please excuse the annoying ass bird that likes to sit up there and scream all day. I don't know what's wrong with him, bro. But the best thing you could do is just pull out the entire fender liner once you jack up the car. I'm doing this with one jack, and we're going to put the car on rhino ramps when we take the bumper off. But I took the fender liner out. All it takes is a bunch of these little 10mm bolts, and that's what it looks like behind there, just a bunch of plastic. You have your auxiliary radiator right here, and the other part I said I bought from Horizon Motorsports is this extended clearance kit. Pretty much a mesh grill that goes in place of the plastic one that comes from stock. You can see I cut out the plastic fins right there and replaced it with this metal one. Not only is it more durable, but it does give you the extra clearance that you need. Since my car does have 15mm spacers in the front, and I'm lowered on probably the best lowering springs, AST springs. I highly recommend this if you do plan to lower your car. I'll leave the link down below from Horizon Motorsports, probably the best one that I found on the internet. And you do not want a rock to hit your auxiliary radiator, because that thing is going to be completely cooked. But after you take out the plastic here, there's 2 bolts you want to unscrew, one that goes right in here and another one that goes upwards. I'll put an arrow with the location for both those screws right here. And after that, just remove the connections and you're good to go from here. There's 3 little connections that need to be disconnected. There's one right up here, and then you have the one that connects to the bumper. I believe this is the parking sensor. Yep. And then I think this is an air pressure sensor, ambient air pressure sensor. It kind of just pokes out. Yeah, just remove these 3 and you can kind of unclip the bumper from here. Okay, we forgot one bolt, so there's 2 bolts going in right here on this little clip that connects the bottom bumper to the top fender, and then there's one other screw that connects that bracket into here. I put a double layer of painter's tape on here so nothing scratches, but you can pretty much just pull the bumper out right after that. You gotta do the other side, then do the bottom, then do the top screws. Let's do the other side, then we'll do the bottom screws where we take off the front lip. It is very straightforward, very easy, like I said, and you definitely can do this on something like Rhino ramps. But we took off both fender liners, we have the car up on the ramps, and we have the jack here for support. So all you really have to do is take off the front lip, and then I'm gonna screw like 4 to 6 bolts up here under the hood. It's actually surprisingly very easy. Now my problem is I have the front camera, so I have to hold the bumper with one hand while I take it off and then disconnect that front camera from the back. I absolutely do not want to rest it here on the ground. If y'all live in the Northeast and you remember lantern flies, I thought those things were extinct, and all of a sudden I start seeing a bunch of them today. So obviously the one day I'm out here doing an install, they want to jump all over me. But we're gonna take the front lip off on the bottom, and I do have a skid plate. Luckily you do not need to take this off. You don't even need to take off these bolts right here from this like plastic piece. Take off just the bolts where the front lip is. These right here and these right here. That's gonna allow the bumper to come off, and then we'll hop over on the top. All right, they're all 10mm bolts, so you can really use the 10mm for almost anything on the car. Give a little tug, make sure everything's out. You don't want to break any clips, you don't want to crack anything. For a very performance oriented car, BMW sure does use a lot of plastic. Forged plastic, of course. Next, you got to remove these fasteners right up here, so you get a little pry tool, probably a plastic one, definitely. Right under there is some bolts. You take off those bolts, and voila, just like that, the entire bumper comes off. Honestly, pretty simple. Not necessarily easy, but simple. It's a very straightforward process. It's hard to really mess this up, but it is very tedious, I can't lie. And since my hands look like this, please hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the video so far. Stay tuned for more videos. Let's rip this bumper off. These top clips right here come out in 2 pieces. It's kind of, you first have to pop this little part out, and then you end up popping this part out. Now we got all these clips off. This entire plastic piece moves up here, and this is how BMW owners work. Oh, I dropped my plastic piece on my individual plaque. Oh my gosh, how clumsy. I want to say these are T30s. I'll put the right one on the screen if I'm wrong. Now all these bolts are off. The bumper is pretty much only held in with these clips on the top, things like this. The clips of these could break. These are metal right over here. I don't want these to break because then this fitment is going to be all off. It's going to be poking out like that. Don't want that to happen at all. This is very important right here. Just like that, the entire front bumper is off and the car looks like this. Now, a lot of people always tell me, take off this like foam piece right here. Now, hands down, the easiest way to take out this grill is to use a flathead screwdriver like I have here, or a plastic pry tool, but I prefer flathead because it is a little bit harder. But be very careful because you do not want to break these orange clips right here, because that is, or whatever color your car is, those are the clips that actually go to the bumper. But I'm taking this flathead, I'm taking this black clip, wedging it in there and bending the black clip backwards so I can push the orange color or the body paint color clip right down there. So you want to bend these like cheap plastic clips, the little black ones right there, bend them backwards and then poke out your body color clips. Everything's gonna pop out. Now that we got the front grille out, we wanted to take out the parking sensors if you have them, and obviously the camera up in the front. I took out the camera stays on here, put a piece of painter's tape on here just so nothing gets scratched. Remove the parking sensors. These should be a little bit easier to replace, but we transferred the parking sensors over to the carbon fiber ones. Make sure you don't mix these up, but also make sure these go in properly, because remember, this is carbon fiber, and because of the process of how carbon fiber is to make, things don't always perfectly line up. They're not 100% perfect, but just make sure that these line up and clip in the right way, because you don't want them falling out at all. All right, now we got everything completely done. All I really did was bend back plastic pieces. You don't really have to take them off, and you can kind of scoot these things in. The kit comes with some screws, so you kind of just screw it in there, screw in all on the little side like that. It's very, very easy. You know, it seems a little bit intimidating. Screwed in right here and right there. It's very easy. Didn't screw in everywhere. Put some 3M tape to kind of test fit it, but everything seems to fit pretty well. I'm very happy and impressed with the way this thing fits and way this thing looks. We're gonna put the bumper back on, pretty much the same thing, reverse order, and I'll see you in just a minute. All right, so we got the front bumper back on. I'm not gonna lie, this process was pretty complicated. I just showed it to you. You drill the clips of the carbon fiber grill into the clips of the bumper, because this is kind of gonna be a part that's on forever. But I only did a couple screws. I didn't do all of them, but I'm gonna show you the finishing touches and how to make this thing actually look like it's an OEM piece from the factory. So I put all this stuff back on. You really just want to play around with it to try to get the best bumper fitment. You see that got like pretty good. It's pretty close to what it was before. I actually think it's a little bit better than before. You need to take a plastic pry tool or a credit card or something, and this grill has this like foam like weather stripping around it. That's so nothing leaks and nothing gets back there. You're gonna just want to take a pry tool and tuck it in. So I'm kind of just tucking it in, shoving it inside and behind the bumper. I put some 3M around it on the top and the bottom just so I can temporarily stick it in and get the right fitment before I actually drilled in. Like I said, it's very easy. If a pry tool doesn't fit in there, you can also take a credit card, and that's really all you do. And trust me, you won't really see this once everything's in. If you really want to, you could take like an X-Acto knife or a razor and cut it, because like these spots right here are going in perfectly, so you can't really see those. There we go. That's working pretty good. I'm very pleasantly surprised with the way they fit. So yeah, whatever doesn't tuck in, I'm just gonna cut with the X-Acto knife, just so it gets a little bit of a cleaner look. A lot of people might not like the way that they're screwed in, but to be honest, they're never going anywhere. I also got these PPF. I highly recommend getting these PPF because they're going to be in the front of the car and they're going to take a lot of abuse and damage. Last thing I want to point out is that this kit actually comes with like mesh grills. I kind of just like the exposed look of this a little bit more. But if you're very concerned, if you have a lot of bugs where you live, or there's a lot of like road debris, you might want to end up putting these in. They sit behind the grill, kind of just like this, to cover up the back. Also, like I said, I do like the exposed look, but I know the exposed look does pick up a lot of garbage. Very last thing is you want to take this big ass ugly grill and you want to rip this badge off right here. I don't know why a lot of people buy new ones of this when there's perfectly good one right here. All you have to do is take a pry tool and either wedge it off, or I have some fishing line right here I'm going to use to take it off. Similar to if you were debadging like the back of your car, it's very easy to take this off, and all you do is put some 3M tape or even super glue, because like I said, this isn't going anywhere. So 3M tape or super glue, and I'm going to put it right back on where it belongs. There we go. So it works a lot better than fishing line. Tree. Almost. This one, the 3M tape is coming up, so just make sure you don't crack it in half, because they can crack in half pretty easily. Competition, very easy. Now we're gonna throw 3M on the back of this and stick it on. So I think only the M3 fits, so that's the only one we're gonna do. Leave the competition badge floating here or whatever. You can't see the 3M because the back, the carbon is gray, so move it around, adjust it a little bit, but looks pretty much perfect to me. There we go. M3 badge is a little dirty, but it looks good. couple days later now, I've gotten so many compliments in the past few days just on these grills. I'm so happy with the way these turned out. They match the OEM carbon fiber so well. This one might look a little lighter because the PPF on here is a lot newer than this one. I don't know how long this PPF has been on, but I PPF'd all the pieces and I think it just looks so amazing, especially with the orange and the gray wheels. Everything just kind of flows and matches perfect. And a lot of people on Instagram have DM'd me and asked me where I got these grills. Horizon Motorsports. They just look amazing and they are such great quality. There was really no fitment issues whatsoever. You see everything just fits so perfect. There's no gaps or anything. The only thing that I still have to fix is that the weather stripping is kind of poking out a little bit. I just kind of got to readjust these, push them in a little bit more. Make sure when you put them in that all the sides are equal so you don't have to rip the bumper off and readjust it. But this has really transformed the entire front end of the car. For comparison, this is what it looked like before and this is what it looks like now. Oh my gosh, it's just so much more aggressive. And like I said, I opted not to put in the mesh inserts that it comes with, but I really like that it comes with mesh inserts because not everyone wants this exposed look. Funny because I put an oil cooler guard underneath the car so that oil cooler doesn't get smashed, and now you can see the top of it right here. And yeah, I guess it is gonna eat leaves like this, but who really cares because the exposed look just looks so good. I really like this one because you have the option to put those mesh inserts that a lot of the grill kits don't come with, and most other grill kits kind of sit back a lot more, so they'll start here, whereas this one goes all the way to the edge, all the way out to the edge right here too. So with this kit, there's just more carbon up and around the edges, which that's something I really like because I mean, who doesn't like more carbon? But dang man, I just can't get over the way this thing looks. It just looks amazing. I'm so freaking happy with the way this came out, and the install is nowhere near as hard as everyone said it would be. Yeah, taking off the bumper is pretty tedious, but all you have to do is just unscrew a couple bolts. So I've got no problem doing this again, which we will be doing when I get some front mount intakes. But out of everything I've done on this car, I mean, I love the AST lowering springs, I love the IRL exhaust, but this grill kit from Horizon Motorsports just looks so freaking menacing, because this definitely should have come from the factory. 1000% should have come like this from the factory. That ugly honeycomb pattern was just horrible, but the lower air ducts, that had to be changed. But you've got to have the complete package because this looks insane. So if y'all want to get some carbon fiber parts for your G80, I'll leave Horizon Motorsports linked in the description below. And I'm so glad I ended up going with them because the quality on these grills is freaking insane. And I think I might even have a special discount code for you guys as well. But with all that being said, guys, make sure you subscribe because the next video is going to be a banger. I'm Ryan from Gears and Gains, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.